I was 73 when I found out. 73. Not 30, not even 50. 73. At that age, most men are thinking about fishing, grandkids, or whether their joints will hold up another winter. But me? I was thinking about how my entire marriage, all 28 years of it, had been a lie. My name's Walter. Folks in the town called me Walt. I worked as a maintenance supervisor at the local steel mill for 41 years. Met my wife, Janice, at church. She played the piano during services. I still remember the way her fingers danced over those keys. Like she was born to make people feel something. We married when I was 45 and she was 40. A bit late by most folks' standards, but we were happy. Or at least, I thought we were. We didn't have kids, tried for a while, but it just wasn't in the cards. We settled into a quiet life, Sunday dinners, church picnics, game nights with neighbours. She loved knitting, and I loved fixing old radios. We had our routines, boring to some, maybe, but they gave me comfort. For 28 years, I never once doubted her. She was the kind of woman who remembered to send birthday cards to cousins we hadn't seen in decades, the kind who made soup for every sick neighbour, that kind of good. But good doesn't mean honest. I know that now. The truth came to me in the form of a yellowed envelope. I found it in an old jewellery box while cleaning the attic after she passed. We had just buried her a week before. Cancer took her fast. One minute she was tending the roses, the next she was in the hospital. I didn't even want to open it. The box had old earrings, faded photos, and then that envelope. No name on it, just the date. May 16th, 1995. That was 7 months after we got married. I opened it, and my whole world shifted. Inside was a letter, a handwritten one, the kind you don't see anymore. It started with "My dearest Janice," and my heart stopped. It wasn't my handwriting. The letter was from a man named Paul. I didn't know a Paul. He wrote with emotion, with longing, like someone pouring his entire soul into ink. He talked about the night they shared in Nashville, and how he couldn't stop thinking about her. He said he respected her decision to marry the other man. That was me, I guess. But that he hoped, someday, they'd find their way back. I read it. I shouldn't have gone. I told myself it was just for closure, but we talked, and then we didn't talk. I hate myself. I closed the book. I wanted to vomit. My knees gave out, and I sat there on the attic floor for I don't know how long. Hours, maybe. I had married a woman who had slept with someone else a day before our wedding, and she never told me. I spent weeks digging, obsessing. I found more letters tucked into books, a photo of Paul, tall, tan, smiling like the world owed him nothing. I even found a birthday card he sent her in 2003. She had kept it hidden behind a painting in the guest room. She never stopped loving him. That's what crushed me most. She had chosen me, yes, but it felt like I was always plan B. Did she ever really love me, or was I just safe? I began to replay our marriage in my mind. Every hug, every kiss, every "I love you." Were they real or performances? And why didn't I see it? Was I blind or just foolish? One night I sat at our kitchen table. the same table we'd shared meals on for nearly 3 decades, and laid out every letter, every piece of evidence. I wanted to burn them, but I didn't, because, as much as it hurt, it was all I had left of her truth. Then I did something I never thought I would. I searched for Paul. It took me less than an hour online. He was in Arizona, retired military, married twice, no kids, still alive. I stared at the screen for hours. Would I call him? Write him? What would I even say? Eventually, I picked up the phone. When Paul answered, I introduced myself. "You don't know me," I said, "but you knew my wife, Janice." There was a long pause, then a quiet, "Oh." We talked for 17 minutes. He told me he had loved her, that he had always hoped she'd call, but she never did. He didn't know she had passed. I told him. He went silent. I asked him the question that haunted me. Did she love me, or was I just the one she settled for? He was quiet. Then he said something I'll never forget. "She chose you, Walt, again and again, even when she didn't have to." That hit me. I didn't want to believe it at first, but maybe she had loved him and still loved me too. Maybe life isn't always clean, black and white. We ended the call politely. I thanked him, he thanked me, and then I sat on the porch and cried like a child. It's been 2 years since I found that first letter. I haven't told anyone. Not my brother, not our neighbours, not the pastor. This story, this truth, it lives with me, but I've made peace with it. Sometimes love is messy. Sometimes people make mistakes and carry them for decades. Sometimes they live 2 truths at once. Janice was my wife. She made me laugh. She made my favourite meals. She rubbed my shoulders after long days. She prayed with me when my father died. She held my hand when I got my knee replaced. She loved me in her way, and maybe that's enough. I still visit her grave, still water the roses she planted. And every now and then I open that old journal and reread her words. Not to hurt myself, but to remember that life isn't always as simple as we want it to be. Last month, I burned the letters. Not out of anger, but because I needed to let go. I stood in the backyard, under the same stars we used to stargaze beneath, and watched the flames consume the paper. I whispered a goodbye, not to her, but to the version of her I thought I knew. Now I live a little quieter, a little slower. I feed the birds, fix old radios, and sometimes I even play the piano. Badly, but I smile more. Because even though she wasn't perfect, neither was I. And maybe that's the real truth of marriage. Not the absence of secrets, but the choice to love despite them. The end.